when they are breaking into a home, okay, whether it's a career criminal or a kid or whatever. I mean, maybe it changes, but I would think they're probably looking for something very specific to steal, like jewelry or something like that. Is there anything that they're absolutely looking for that we should protect more than other things?
Yeah, there's about 4 or 5 things that we see most often stolen. Again, jewelry, of course, is very important. In fact, we see from the detectives I've talked to, and I've literally been on hundreds or in hundreds of homes just shortly after the break-in occurred. I mean, while the police are there, they're dusting for fingerprints. I'm there also. Sometimes they'll call the police and they call the alarm company. Hey, we need to get a security system in here. And it's interesting in Jacksonville, we're a military town. We have 2 naval air stations here and a lot of Navy wives. And when they get, when their home gets vandalized or broken into, some of them tell us, I'm not even going back in that house till you get the alarm system installed. So we've seen, I've seen a lot and been in a lot of homes, in every home I've ever been to in my career. I've never been in a home where if the burglar got inside the house, he didn't hit the master bedroom. These guys are looking for handguns, jewelry, hidden cash, coin collections, and drugs. They'll go in your medicine cabinet and just rake everything out. They don't care what it is. They just get it all.
They're hoping they'll find something of value.
Exactly. And half the time they don't know what they're stealing. They don't know what it is. They'll try anything, I guess. And typically they want to steal what they put in their pockets. Now, while they were in your home, they saw your gun rack in, Jacksonville, Florida, or Florida is a lot like every other city in the country. We have a lot of outdoorsmen here, a lot of hunters and fishermen. So it's not unusual to see a gun rack in a house or a computer system or a flat screen TV. We've seen this happen so many times where they'll break in and steal the things they can put in their pockets. But while they were there, they saw this other stuff. And a few weeks later, they'll come back. We've had several customers have hit twice in 2 days.
Wow.
Sure, because they saw stuff they couldn't carry the first time.
Yeah. And the second time they come in your house, they're a little more comfortable.
Sure, they've been there before. They know the house.
Yeah, exactly.
And they know how long till you're going to get back. And they have it, staked out and things like that. Are there times, Russ, that people could find out when they see that someone's staking out a house? What kind of warning signs should you look out for, especially when you are home and they're trying to stake out a house?
Well, they're really not, we don't see them staking out the house that much. I mean, like I said earlier, this is just usually random. But if you see a car with a few teenagers in it driving by your house really slow, that's probably a red flag. And it wouldn't hurt to report that, especially if you don't recognize the car. If you're in like a suburb or a residential neighborhood, you have to be alert to these things. So, there's not much you can do. If you just have to hope and pray that they don't that you're not home when they do hit the house. And if you are home, you have to know what to do when someone knocks at your door.
Right. And so what should the homeowner do?
That is a great question, and this is something we ask customers this often when we're on sales presentations, especially dealing with senior adults or maybe a single mother or somebody living alone. I ask them this question, Ms. Jones, what would you do if you're home alone and any time of the day or night and someone knocks at your door? Well, how would you respond? And it's amazing, more than half the time, probably 70% of the time, they say they would not answer the door. Well, we know this, that when the criminal comes to the door, he's going to knock on the door to make sure you're not home. And if you don't answer the door, then they're kicking it in. And then you have what the police authorities call an unexpected confrontation between a homeowner and a criminal. And obviously, someone's going to get hurt. The criminal's thinking, I've been to jail before. The police have my photo ID, my fingerprints. I'm not going back. And what started off to be just a property crime now has turned into something extremely violent. So we let people know, when you're home and someone knocks at your door, don't open the door, but answer the door. My daughter, just happened to her a few years ago. She lived here in Jacksonville. I'm on the phone with her, and she's telling me, Dad, there's somebody at the door. I said, okay. And she's whispering. I said, why are you whispering? She said, I don't know. I said, well, answer the door. She goes to the door. She's got the baby in her arms. She goes to the door, and she says, can I help you? And they said, oh. Obviously, she startled them because it had taken her a minute or two to get to the door. And they said, have you seen our dog? We lost a dog. Have you seen a black dog? And she said no, and they ran and got in the van and spun around and took off.
That's scary.
That would have been bad.
Yeah, and she's on the phone with you while it's happening, so you're thinking,
Right.
yeah, it's.
I said, hang up and call the police.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's good advice there for everybody to take to heart. So don't, pretend you're not there and be quiet. Maybe be assertive and, go right up the door and say, hey, can I help you? Don't open the door, obviously.
Right.
If you got a peephole, maybe look through it or maybe not, depending if somebody, comes right up and, sees an eyeball and decides to shoot through the eye, peephole there. But definitely, you do want to answer the door verbally and, ask if there's some way to, what they're looking for, who is it, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
So what would be the next step? Now they say something that gives you cause to believe it's a valid individual.
Well, you got to be sure. I mean, you've got to ask for identification. In fact, our salespeople, when they go on sales calls, even for Bates Security, sometimes they'll ask to slide your card under the door. Okay, your business card, so they actually know that we are who we say we are. And we're wearing our shirts and we got our card out there sometimes and everything, and they're still uneasy about opening the door to someone they don't know. So, man, err on the side of caution by all means.
I was just going to say, yeah, better safe than sorry.
Absolutely, yeah.